What's up, everybody? So, decided to do a little bit of a video showcasing some of the work I've been doing lately. You've probably seen a ton of pictures, but I kind of want to add this to the YouTube channel just to kind of get a little bit more exposure on it. So I'm just going to be showing some of the stuff I've been working on, and if you haven't guessed already, it's all about my custom tomahawks that I've been doing. Now, little backstory, I kind of like to do all kinds of stuff. I work with models, or not female models, but I build models, and I liked edged weapons and everything. So this is just kind of like a new hobby I picked up, and it's actually kind of fun to work on some of this stuff. You get to learn a lot of new things, working with new materials, working with new tools, things I've never really delved into before or dived into as far as working. I've never done anything with metals, engraving, acid etching, leather, wood. So this is all kind of new, and it's pretty exciting to see the end product. So without further ado, actually let me show this. This is a basic tomahawk that you can buy from Amazon. These are made by Cold Steel. Now, I know some people either love or hate Cold Steel, especially their tomahawks. Personally, as is that you would buy directly from them, they're garbage. And let me show you a few examples as to why. True tomahawks are supposed to be friction fit to these handles. They're meant to slide off, if you give them a nice little pounding, they're meant to slide off the handle. If you're a bushcraft or any type survivalist or anything like that, you kind of want that option. These do come off, but from the factory, they're kind of force pressed into the handle, and it kind of leaves like these little shelves with these burrs sticking out, and that all needs to get sanded, and really affects the overall fit of the blade to the handle. Sometimes they don't fit at all, even if you fix this. So you resort to actually using the set screw. And of course, if you're in a wilderness or survivalist, situation, you need to take this blade off, or the handle breaks, you need to make a new one. If you don't have that Allen wrench, you're kind of stuck. So yes, sometimes I can fix this, sometimes you can't. That's just kind of a hit and miss with Cold Steel. So that's kind of the downside. Also, these are kind of hit and miss as far as them being sharp. This one's not too bad, but I probably will refine it. Some of them come pretty sharp, some of them come really dull. So yeah, and of course, they're made in Taiwan. But other than that, there are some positives to these things, but it takes a little work for them to be good. So out of the box, yeah, they're kind of garbage, but what do you expect for $30 at most for a tomahawk? But yeah, this is how they come. They come looking like this. Pretty simple. They come with this black gloss finish. It's just a coating they put on the blades to protect them from the elements. These are not stainless steel blades. They're 1055 carbon steel, so that's kind of a plus. They're definitely a decent grade steel, especially for chopping and cutting and stuff like that. So it's good stuff. It's a hickory handle, straight grain hickory handle. Not the best handles, but for what it is, they work. So in order to make these pretty cool, you kind of have to do a little work. And some of the basic things that you end up doing is, of course, sanding down the handle, taking off this finish, putting a stain on it, using some boiled linseed oil, seal up the handle. You can get creative, which is what I do. I usually like to take the finish off of these blades, put a patina on it, maybe sand them down, put a nice finish, and then just maintain it with oil. But that's more of a decorative thing. Putting a forced patina is definitely the better option, using a gun blue or something like that. But yeah, so this is how they look, and for $30, these are relatively inexpensive. And if you want to start modding these things, if you want to get into any type of modding tomahawks for aesthetics, for cosplay, costumes, periodic costumes, authentic, Viking stuff, American Indians, any type of culture that use these type of weapons, these are probably your best bet because, like I said, they're inexpensive and they're easy to get. They ship to you right from Amazon. And the good thing about cold steel is that they have many different types of these. For example, this is the Frontier Hawk, and this is the Viking hand axe. So you can see that they have different types of blades, and I got a couple other I'll show in a minute. But yeah, so definitely worth a while if you want to get into it. So without further ado, let's take a look at what I've been working on. Let's take a look at this one. This is a cold steel pipe hawk. It's modeled after more of the frontier during the frontiersmen when they started trading with the American Indians during the French and American Indian War. Before the American Indians and Native Americans didn't really have steel to make these type of weapons. They usually use stone or bone, but when they started getting steel, they started developing these tomahawks, and this is what they call a pipe hawk. Now I'm not exactly 100% on its history, but these were ceremonial pieces, and you could actually smoke from them. This is obviously not one of those. This is more of a tool. It doesn't have an open end to put your tobacco in or an open end to smoke your tobacco. So, but it's definitely modeled after that. I really like it. So, the reason why I love this is because this is a great tool. This could be used as a hammer, and of course the blade used for chopping and stuff. And obviously I've done some custom work. So when you start with something like this, you end up with something like this. So it definitely is a fun hobby to get into because you can get some pretty creative. What I've done with this is basically I've taken off the black finish of the steel, put on a forced patina with some perma blue, which you can buy at any gun store or sporting goods shop. Did a little bit of engraving right there. It's my initial with the Dremel. That was my first attempt with the Dremel to do some sort of type of engraving, so my lines are not exactly straight, but it worked. Also did a little bit of file marks up here at the top to kind of give it some character, and really that's about it as far as the blade goes. Sharpened it up a little bit, gave it a little bit better edge, added some bling to it. I hate to use that term, but just some decorations that I had laying around from other weapons that I've had, and used some high grade epoxy to hold this in. It'll probably fly off if I actually try to use this in a real situation, but this is kind of a decorative piece. It's not really meant to... I didn't really eliminate this as being useful as a tool or a weapon, so I could, but a lot of these parts would probably fly off, which is not a big deal if I really needed to. Added some end caps here from a sword that I had, katana, shaved down the top of the handle to make it fit, press fit it in, glued it on just to be sure. Added some medallion up here I found from Hobby Lobby to kind of give it a little bit character, and then worked onto the handle. The handle was pretty fun to work with. Sanded it down, got down to the bare wood, got that shiny finish off of it, and did some engraving with the Dremel tool, and it was pretty fun. I never really worked with the Dremel tool before, so my lines are a little bit sketchy, but I do draw a lot, so after about maybe 20-30 minutes of messing with it, I finally got steady and confident enough to where I can actually start making some designs on the fly, and came up with this design pattern, a little bit of a dragon scale, see how it would look, and some triangles here and some wispy little lines here, and then some more little odd designs here, and then kind of threw in my initials right there. I don't know if you can actually see that. It's an RL, and then stained it. Did a two-tone stain. Did a little bit of darker stain on the dragon scales, and then a little bit of darker stain up here, and then just kind of gave it a stain on the main part of the body and wiped it off to kind of give it some highlights, and yeah, came out pretty well. Did some filing right here for the grips in case you want to use the hash to do some shavings and stuff. And so yeah, there's really there was a lot of work went into this actually, and I'm actually quite happy with the results of how it came out. Also did some custom leather grip here with some leather shoelace. I did 2 different types of leather shoelace. Did a black and then I did a brown, and did a basic kind of I don't know if you can tell, it's kind of like a basket weave, I guess, and over under every other, like that, and just something different, trying out different things, just to give it a little stand out from the standard types of grips you can use, just to give it a little bit of decoration, and with an end cap right here too. So yeah, definitely pretty awesome piece. I love this. This is like my favorite one. This is my tomahawk. So it is a functional piece. Like I said, I didn't do anything as far as making it not functional. The only thing that this can come off. The blade can come off if I give it a nice little tap. The only thing that's preventing it is this wrap. So if I want to use this for some sort of bushcraft and take it out into a survival situation, definitely have to take this lacing off, which is not a big deal. It's just tied on, so it'll come off quickly if I need it and return this back to a useful tomahawk. But for now, like I said, it's kind of it's just a piece to look at, something to put on your wall, and something cool to look at. So there's that one. Next one is the Norse hawk, also cold steel. This one I did a lot of work, mostly to the blade part, simply because I kind of wanted to try some different stuff with the blade. So did some basic stuff to the handle, some engravings, and added a medallion here, the Tree of Life, which I had jumbled out the overall shape into the handle and then had it flush to the handle, so it's actually not sitting on top of the handle. It's actually kind of engraved in, so give it a nice little flush look. And then that's actually the Gaelic letter for G, because this is actually a gift. This is a gift that I'm working on for some relatives in Ireland. Yeah, I have relatives in Ireland, in-laws actually, but they live in Ireland, and the last name starts with a G, so I had the letter G put on that, and then the Gaelic symbol for the letter G. And then I'd actually put some polished stones, green stones, into there. It didn't really come out as good as I thought. It was kind of a pain in the butt to do, but nonetheless, it works. And just epoxy them in there so they don't come out. And did some basic engravings up here. Went online, looked at some Celtic designs, and I saw one that had this kind of engraving, so I copied that. And in Ireland, they have these ancient burial mounds, or tombs. I think they're tombs, I'm not sure. But on the inside, carved in the stone, are these circular lines and wispy lines all over the place. And they don't understand the meaning of them from what I understand, but I kind of copied that design and put it on the handle. And then just added some leather with some furniture studs to finish it off. And then, but the real crown piece, I thought, was the blade itself. The camera doesn't really do it justice. I had actually sanded down. I removed the finish using paint stripper, and then I sanded it down using a sander, and I went all the way up to a 2000 grit, wet sand 2000 grit, to get this shiny finish. Now it really doesn't pick up how shiny it is, but it's pretty shiny. I wouldn't say quite chrome, but pretty darn close. Now I done it in a way so that the finish still has a lot of this pitting into it, and I wanted to keep that pitting because I kind of wanted it to keep make it look like a piece of the period of the time, so it wouldn't be perfectly polished like this, and so it really left a nice effect. And there's also an acid etch. I don't know if you can barely see it, but yeah, there's an acid etch. It was my first time acid etching using ferric acid. It was a quite interesting process to get this done. I had to use nail polish and masking tape to get this design. And I'll probably do more of acid etching, but I'm going to probably let it sit in the solution. This was sitting in the solution for about maybe 3-4 minutes. I'll probably double that next time to get a little bit darker, bigger etch, and it goes all the way around. I don't know if you can see. So yeah, and then the letter G, this is actually a forced patina. I had just basically got some stickers from Hobby Lobby, from vinyl stickers, and put that on there, and then got a cotton swab and dipped it in some perma blue and just did that. And it masked off the rest of the blade, and it set in pretty well, and that's the result. So this is actually the only forced patina that's on the blade. The rest of it is just the bare metal. So this kind of has to be oiled to keep it, from rusting. But like again, like I said, this is more of a piece to look at. You could use it if you want. There's nothing really to stop you from using it. And I put a nice little edge on it. It's really sharp. So if they really wanted to use this, they could. But like it's more of a showpiece. This is one of those cases where I had to keep the set screw because from the factory, whoever put the set screw put it in so far into the wood that basically the set screw was too short. It would literally just dig all the way into the wood and it would no longer hold the metal in. It was just garbage. So I had to fill that part in with wood filler and then use the set screw to tighten the blade down because the finish on the blade was, even when I sanded it down and everything and got it to friction fit, it wouldn't hold. It would just slide off. It wouldn't hold itself at all, no matter how hard I tried. So I had to be forced to stick with the set screw. So cold steel, what do you say, But it worked. Now, besides cold steel, I've done a couple of others. This was actually the first one that I've done when I started getting into this. This is a CRKT, a Columbia River knife tool. Woods Chogan is what they're called. And I bought this on Amazon. These are a little bit more expensive than the cold steel. These run about $45-50, probably about twice the price of a cold steel. And but it's a better tomahawk, in my opinion, depending on what you use tomahawks for. For bushcraft, I would definitely use one of these. This definitely is a lot sturdier, has a much better handle to them. They're fit and fit. I didn't have to do any sanding to the handle as far as just taking off the finish because they do come with a finish on it. But I didn't have to do any fitting to it. It just came right out of the box, pretty well put together. And these are heavy. It's the same grade steel as the cold steel. They're 1055 carbon steel, but these are a lot thicker. For example, let's take a look. You can kind of see this just around the handle, how much thicker they are, and the blades are a lot thicker. These tomahawks probably weigh a little over 2 pounds, and that's a lot. So if you're into hiking and survivalists and you want to keep your weight down, these may not be your best choice, but as a tool to be used around a campsite, you probably couldn't go wrong. This hammer end, great for nailing in, stakes, spikes, and of course these blades, they pretty much go through anything. You can chop a tree down with one of these. It's pretty awesome, pretty hefty. As far as work I've done to it, this was the first one I really got into, so I didn't do a lot. I wasn't confident into engraving or any of that stuff. I just kind of wanted to see what I can do by just adding some basic stuff. And I actually had the blade sent out professionally to get it sanded down and sharpened. Local knife shop around here, guy does an excellent job. And as a favor to me, since I'm a pretty good customer, I told him, hey, can you sand this down to the bare metal? And he says, yeah, I can do that. Don't tell anybody else I did, but I can do it. So he did it, and he did a very good job. He also kept a little bit, which I wanted him to do. He kept the pitting to make it, like I said, not perfectly smooth like he did on the edge here, but to give it some character. And came out perfect. I did some leather work. I did some leather lacing up here. Just kind of did something different. Wrapped it around, twisted it a few times, and then wrapped it around and continued that process and kind of came up with a nice little effect there. Furniture tacks to hold in the grips here, and then the choke I made out of leather. I've never worked with leather before, first time working with leather. Did some really basic designs, not really good, not really know what the hell I was doing, just kind of wanted to see what it looked like. water formed it, wet formed it to the handle. First time working with sinew and stitching, so, and of course pre-punching the leather to get the holes in and start the stitching. And then just added some beadwork that I got from Hobby Lobby. Just went in and was looking at all these random trinkets and beads and added that and some feathers that they have there, and there you go. It was my first tomahawk, and I actually like it. It's one of my favorites. Like I said, this is I can take these feathers off and this beading work if I want to, and this would actually be a very good tomahawk to use every day. It's very sturdy. I don't have any problems. I'm not scared of it breaking or anything like that. These are very solid. But for a tomahawk that I would probably use over this would probably be this. This is also a Columbia River knife and tool tomahawk. This is the kanji, the Woods kanji. The difference is between these two is one has a spiked blade and this one has a hammer end. And the blades are slightly different as far as design goes. It's a little bit wider blade. I prefer this blade, but whatever, it's the way it is. But this spike is pretty deadly. You can take down a tree with this spike too. And again, it's heavy. So yeah, this one I really didn't do much because I wanted to keep everything kind of factory, because I want to keep this pretty sturdy, because this is handy to have around the house, or taking, if I'm going to chop some stuff around, because we do have firewood, chop some firewood. This is definitely built for that, and so I didn't want to have to worry about break-in or having a nice finish on the blade. So I kept the finish on the blade. So this is what they come looking like right out of the factory, as opposed to having something like this done. See, it still has a CRKT logo, So it has like this nice little titanium gray finish, which I left on. Didn't sand the handle down, left the finish on, and all I did was just add some paracord wrap, because unfortunately with these handles, when they're nice and shiny like this, they can get a little slippery, especially when you're doing some work and your hands start sweating. So did a nice little paracord Navy style spiral wrap, and then did a basic paracord for the choke up here in case you miss and you hit the handle, give a little protection, and that's about it. So yeah, that's pretty much it as far as custom work goes. Like I said, the tomahawks are really fun to get into, because it's like a whole new canvas for me. They definitely give you a lot of options to customize, and you get to work with a lot of different materials and experiment and just kind of go crazy with it, which is what I like to do. And if I want to recreate a period piece, then I can do that. If I want to do a total custom job, I can do that. And there's really, the sky's the limit. The only limitation is what you have up here, and I really can't go wrong. So yeah, I'm definitely loving this, and I do intend to do a lot more. As far as commissions go, there's probably, if you did watch this video, you probably might think, well, how much does he charge to do something like this? As of right now, I don't plan on doing commissions. At least for right now. I want to get good at this craft, and maybe later. So I'll definitely, if you want to ask, go ahead. I'll probably say no, but who knows? Maybe a few months down the road, maybe a year or so, when I get good at it, I might be able to pick up some commission work. Because right now I'm not working. I'm on disability right now, so I don't really have any means other than disability to pay for any of this stuff. So right now it's just a hobby. But who knows? Depending on my medical condition, which is the reason why I'm at home a lot now, who knows? I might pick this up and do this on the side as something, and as favors for friends, or maybe even pick up some commissions. So I don't know. But as of right now, I'm only about 4 tomahawks into learning how to do this stuff, and there's guys and there's people that's been doing this for a long time, and so I'm still kind of new at it. So as far as goes, no commission work at the moment. But anyways, I hope you like what you see. If you have any questions, feel free to comment down below. And I'll try to answer some of the best way I can. Like I said, I'm no expert in these things yet, but definitely would try to help anybody if you're planning on getting into this kind of stuff. I'm learning as I go, so be patient with that as well. Also, check me out on Instagram. You can check it out as Ronin, Roinin, RONIN_custom_tomahawks. And I'll be posting up all my finished works on there, and you can check out the things that I've done on there as well. So, and I'll post a link down into the comment section or in the description below if you want to check out my Instagram. Not much there yet. Like I said, I just started, so, you know. But definitely, yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed. And keep crafting out there and keep getting creative. And for all you people into knives and tomahawks, you know, keep doing what you're doing. You guys are pretty helpful. I go on the Blade forums and seek out information, so it's a pretty tight-knit community, and I'm hoping that I can maybe make my mark one day into some of this stuff. Maybe delve into others besides tomahawk. This is kind of a start. You know, you start out with tomahawks and then maybe move on to knives and bigger things, but for now, yeah, I'm liking this. So, anyways, hope you enjoy. Take it easy.